Namaste. This video is about sex education. The ideal way of teaching sex education, especially in a country like India where it is so much taboo and it is so much hidden, is giving it to private companies. Like if you give everything to private companies, like you give gyms. I mean, exercise has spread a lot because gyms are everywhere. Then you give yoga to private companies. Yoga has spread a lot because there are centers everywhere. So if you give sex education to private companies, it will spread everywhere because they will try to advertise it and publicize it and ensure that people buy it. And they will find several creative ways so that it is bought. So that's a lot easier than fighting with the school system, because the first thing the school system has to do is to teach positive thinking. Once children are positive, they will be receptive to sex education, and they will respect each other. But they have to learn compassion and positivity first before you jump onto concepts like sex education and where they can insult each other. Open talk on sex can cause a lot of insult to be exchanged, and people do insult a lot on sex. There's a lot of gossip columns based on sex. There's a lot of porn going on, and um, people do use sex to humiliate a person. So you have to avoid these insults, because as long as you're insulting, it is coming back to you, the insult. Like if you see children insulting each other, they would be beaten by their parents in their own houses. So insult always comes back. If you insult your parents, you will be insulted by a friend. So insult will always come back, and sexual insult will come back more because it hurts more. So you should avoid insulting each other about sex, or why they had affairs, or why they did not have affairs, or who they had affairs with, or where they had one night stands, and where are they experimenting, where are they exploring, why are they exploring. You should not curb the questions. The questions have to come for answers to come. And when answers comes, you connect to God. So whoever said that questions cannot be asked in religion were people who were not aware of spirituality and the extent to which God can answer. The questions have to ask, it has to be asked sequentially, not the same question again and again. If you are asking the same question again and again, that means you are not evolving, you are not growing to a higher level, you are insistent on being as evil as you always were, and your view of God is fixed, like this is God and this is not God. Twin flame union makes you one with God, because a lot of twin flame union happens in the air, and God actually comes as your twin flame and speaks on behalf of your twin flame, so that you feel love again in your life. And that happens to blessed souls, to advanced souls, that they can actually hallucinate about their twin flames and feel loved if there is no love in their present lives. And that is not a disease, it is psychic development, it is telepathy, it is sainthood, it is monkhood, and it takes you to a higher realm than material existence. So but sex education is something, the moment you bring it on the material plane, it can cause a lot of fights and insults, and it has to be touched very, very sensitively. So private companies who are making profits from it will do a better job, because they will be sensitive, because they are being paid for it. So that's just about sex education. Schooling needs positive thinking more than sex education. If children are taught to be compassionate, to respect each other from the beginning, and not to fight with each other, and not to compete with each other, when they learn to love each other, like each other, see the, good parts in each other, not be jealous of each other, but, be happy with each other, then obviously sex education can also be taught. But first teach positive thinking. Make positive thinking a part of the syllabus from 1 to 12, like English is. You can teach positive thinking in grades. Teach positive thinking, teach vibrational positivity, teach emotional intelligence, teach perceptual positions, teach them to be calm, let them get up late, teach them to have flexible hours, teach them flexibility in schools. Don't make them come at 7. All of them don't have early morning hours. Don't force early morning hours. Stop using force. Let them come late. Let them come at their own time. Let them learn at their own time. Let them find their own periods. Choose their own periods. This happens in Western countries. So, of course, we have a lot of population, but even then, we can classify children who like to get up early and who like to get up late, and not force everyone to get up early. Why are you forcing everyone to get up early? Why are you forcing headaches on children who have eye problems? And when it can be so easily resolved? Why should you think your way of thinking is the only right one? Why can't you be flexible about methods of thinking, about ways of thinking? So there is so much to explore. And social media is exploring a lot, but even now the tilt is towards negativity, which causes problem. The tilt has to move towards positivity. Only then any education will help towards creating a happy reality. Kundalini awakening meditation is very important to be taught with sex education, where you breathe up, release from the head, and come back in the heart. So, this you have to do at least 3 times daily, along with sex education, learning sex education, so that the sexual power goes to the mind and becomes creative power, and you can help contribute to a more beautiful universe. If you just keep the sexual power in your lower parts, it becomes destructive. It can even make you suicidal. So you should always breathe up the excess sexual energy and release it from the top of your head. Take it back to your heart so that your higher chakras open with that powerful energy, and you become a better contributor to the universe. There's a lot to the concept. And insulting should not be your priority. Your teachers should be helpful, parents should be helpful. You should not shun it. Oh, what nonsense are you talking? This should never be used. You should talk about it openly, respectfully, and respect each other. Respect the parents, respect the children. Don't use, you know, war, bitterness and insults and bringing sex in arguments and being cheap like um, illiterate people. I mean, there should be some literacy in your arguments, and you should at least respect each other if you're teaching sex education. It's a very sensitive topic. Thank you.